Hey folks, this is Captain Paul Brawley with Fish Finder Guide Service. Welcome to this week's edition of Texas Fishing Tips. We're going to be starting out over here in the bolt hole. Tides have been fluctuating. They will be lower sometimes in the afternoons and quite a bit higher in the mornings. So your midday bite would probably be the better bite, although there's always some fish biting in the morning. We're getting lots of croakers in now, so we're going to be looking to use croakers off of the fronts of these chains of islands back out in this direction right here, looking to pick up speckled trout and some redfish in this area. I would be using a number 5 to number 6 Kale hook. You are freelining these croakers. You will just hook it between the anal fin and the lateral line that runs through its body. You are going to use like a number 5 to 6 Kale hook, free lined. You're going to tie it straight to your braid and or your mono, or you could use a leader in between with a uni to uni knot. No weights, no swivels, no clips, no tricks. You're just going to be using your hook, your croaker, and your rod and reel. Be sure you guys are letting these croakers take the trout take these croakers. I have my people keep their rod at 12 o'clock position and pull it all the way down to a 3 o'clock position before setting the hook, making sure the fish has direct contact the whole time. That area there will be holding some trout, as well as out in front of this island right here. You could be able to find some trout there. I do like fishing this little hole here and all around these cuts and channels coming in through the Corpus Christi Bay up into this area. You could really do some good on some trout through there if you guys spend some time making sure you're finding the right bite. They should be popping some slicks. There should be some bait. Look for your tidal movement. That whole area should do you some pretty good for trout fishing. All right, moving on from the trout, we're going to be looking around all these spoils behind these islands, this set of islands. There's a couple of bars that are underwater here around this island. This is an underwater bar here, and around this island here. All of those islands will be holding a few redfish. I'm not saying that you will or will not pull up and whack 6 or 7 reds in a row, but there should be a couple of reds around each of those islands. I would pull up using cut bait. Have in mind you're going to be freelining that, hooking through the skin only, like a number 5 Kel hook, a number 6 Kel hook. We're going to be throwing those out there. My rule of thumb is always to set a 10-minute timer. If you don't have a red in 10 minutes, move to the next little spoil. You are going to be fishing around those islands. You're going to be looking for the big sand spots. So you're going to land your cut bait, whether it be cut skipjack, sardines, cut mullet. You could even cut up some croaker and or cut up some shad and put them behind on the windward sides of all these little spoil islands. I set a 10-minute timer. I'm waiting for a bite or to move. If I get a red, I will set the timer again. If I do not get a red, then I'll move to the next spoil. You can jump around all through there looking for redfish. Also, on some of these bigger open flats like this square here or this square here, out in the middle of those flats, there will be some sand spots. You can try your cut bait there, but you could also try some live croaker to pick up a few really nice trout through there. Remember, the trout laws are 15 to 20 inches, 3 trout per person a day. You can keep one over 30 per person per day right now. If you do catch a really big one, I would do the catch and release photos, catch and release. If you're so inclined, if it's something you have to have and wall mount it, well, nobody's gonna look down on you for that because nobody's really catching 30s on a day in and day out basis right now. But please be conservative minded about what you're doing. All right, we're gonna be moving on the east side of the intercoastal, but still staying on the north side of the causeway. with the higher tides. If you have a shallow running boat, start looking behind all of these spoils right here for redfish and black drum. For the reds, I'm going to be using cut bait, and for the black drums, dead or alive shrimp. Also, out here around all these mini reef formations, here and back in here, you could be looking for redfish to be trolling those reefs, looking for any type of little baits that are running them. I always will use cut bait. I prefer a windier day. I'm trying to use like sardines, shads, cut skipjack, cut mullet behind all of those reefs. If you don't know the area, I suggest you go with someone who does, as it can get a little tricky through there. That whole area has been holding some reds with the higher tides. Later in the day, you could come out here and look in Dead Man's Hole, and you could try to drift through there, maybe looking for some black drum or possibly some reds floating in there mid to late day. Seems to be a few that have been in there. On over here, we're looking at Packery Hole. We're looking on this drop right here. You're going to stay in this deeper water and fish that drop. I prefer using popping corks and shrimp right along that grass line, trying to pick up trout, trying to pick up redfish. You can throw cut bait in there, looking for the redfish and maybe a flounder or two. I do know there has been some drum in this area. I don't know how well it is. I've seen them a few times on my sonar. I have not been able to catch them, although I know of a few people who have caught them. So that area could possibly be holding some nice drum for you if you're able to get them. I haven't really got a good report on Packery Channel, although I'm seeing a lot of people fishing it. I don't know really what's going on in there. I haven't been over there since the sheephead run, but it might be something I might explore in the next week or two and just see if any of the drum schools or any other schools of reds or anything have shown up in there. But as for now, that's my report for the north side of the causeway. I hope this helps. I hope you guys catch a lot of fish. Be courteous to each other. And that's it for this week's edition of Texas Fishing Tips.